If you have been following along in the past few chapters, you have probably noticed how your brain is now all about body shapes, character anatomy, and it just won't quit, right? I bet many of you can relate. Learning works in weird ways. Ask a few questions, make a few attempts, and suddenly things start clicking. Now we are just one step away from wrapping up this character body model. Arms and legs are pretty straightforward, but when it comes to modeling hands, get ready for some new challenges and lessons. So that's why we are here though. Let's add some limbs to this character and wrap up our first big milestone, complete this character body. So big shout out to those who have made it to chapter number 4. I commend your commitment. So this is Ram from Crossmind Studio and you are tuning into chapter number 4 of animated character creation series. For bonus chapters, project files and other useful stuff, check out the premium version. Details are in the description along with the PDF and other resources required for this tutorial. So let's jump right in. Now that we have the torso part, it's going to be relatively easy to make arms and legs out of it. So what I'm going to do is this space that we had made for arms, I'm going to select this and make a circle out of it with the loop tools. And once that is done, I just want to enable statistics right here. Let me just disable the proportionate editing. Let's start making arms first. So I'm just going to rotate this thing slightly backwards to a much more relaxed position so that it looks natural, that's all. And then I'll make a simple extrusion out of it and place it right here. I'm just going to disable the subdivision for now. So let me just push this all the way till here. And I'm going to rotate this slightly like this. Let's just stretch it out to the full arm length. Now if you notice your arm when it's in the resting position, it's slightly twisted. When your palm is facing downwards towards the floor, there's a slight twist. So that's what this is about. And I'm going to subdivide this, basically adding a simple edge loop and push this backwards. Keep it simple, relax, and keep adding loops in between. Start with low resolution and keep adding loops when the need arrives. So this is for biceps. Slightly push this outwards, this to downwards. And if you want, not really trying to make anything muscular here, but still just to make this more organic and natural and not really a flat cylindrical shape, I'm going to make it like this. One bevel here and add a middle segment with the scroll wheel. And same thing I'm going to do here. Add one loop in between, edge loop. Try to form the forearm. Add another loop right here, like this. Quite simple and easy. Let's add one more loop here and one here. Just trying to keep it equally spaced out. Now for these parts, for elbows, so with these two edges selected, I'm going to just press bevel, Control B, and then scale these down like this. So when subdivided, this is going to create a sort of a pinch, and that's what we want. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is we need to take care of, make it a quad. I'm using a cut tool, knife tool, which is right here, knife. Short command for knife tool is K on keyboard. That's all. And this point and this point, I'm going to select both of these and scale it outwards like this. And right at the back, let's select just this one and bevel this. Yeah, this seems right. And then let's do the same thing. Press K for knife tool and make it quads. Let's select these 4 points, scale these up to make a nice round shape. And then you can select this edge, push this out. If you want, you can pinch these in to form the elbow. Not bad actually, quite nice. So shape of elbow looks alright. And then let's select this entire ring and see how many vertices we have. We have 9 vertices. Now to form the hand, we are going to try and keep even number. Let's make it a circle of 10. So to make a circle of 10, I'm going to add one more loop here. That's right. This seems to be a circle of 10. So let's go to front view and I'm going to press Shift D and select this loop and move it away from the body. And now I'm going to just separate this selection. We are going to attach this hand later with this body. Let's isolate this. I'm going to disable mirror for now. Now with this hand, first thing we are going to do is let's make it a flat circle. Just trying to flatten this in X axis so it's easy to model it in all the views. With these vertices, I'm going to try and form the cross section of the hand, palm area basically. Let's try a arched top like this. Then we have bottom. So just make sure we have even number, same number of vertices at the top and the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This we can drag here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this seems like a good start. Go to the top view and in the edit mode, I'm going to just extrude these out. Select everything, just make sure that all the normals are facing outside. Recalculate normals outside just to cross check. Shade smooth this. Now after you have extruded this, just try to form the shape of the palm, slightly arched. Give these a little angle so that these fingers are going to be spread out. So these should point this way, this way, this way, and this way. This is where we are going to attach fingers. Just take your time to shape this up properly. Bring as much of palm shape as possible. Now I'm just going to select all of these and press grid fill. Now I'm going to select this side one and going to extrude this out. This is where we are going to create thumb. Extrude this out. I'm just going to disable the subdivision surface for now and work on formation of the thumb. Let us rotate this downwards a little to a much more relaxed position for thumb. That seems like a good start. I'm just going to make a backup of this. I'm going to extrude this again and scale this down and push this outwards. Let's make a thumb out of this. So let me just slide this here and add one more loop right here. This could be rotated this way. This might be too skinny for a thumb. So move few of these faces and just try to form slightly more thicker volume. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm looking at my hand and trying to observe. So I'm just going to orient my thumb in this direction of the screen. I'm going to place my thumb facing downwards and try to observe these vertices should be pinched inside like this. All right. It sometimes get messier if I leave the subdivision surface on and try to model this. So I keep switching in between. And then let's come to the fingers. So at this moment, I'm just going to extrude out one of the finger. Right here. I just scale this down. Add 2 more loops in between. This facing this way. Rotate this downwards and something like this. The entire finger on much more relaxed position. So now we are going to delete these faces because we are going to copy the same finger right here as well. Now I'm going to enable the subdivision modifier So with this, I'm going to apply subdivision modifier. And once I do that, I'll get much more resolution to work with. And this is going to be much easier to form fingers with. So now I have many more loops in between, but at the same time, we are not too far from the resolution that we are dealing with. So pressing double G to slide these outwards and inwards. I'm just going to move this inwards right here like this, just like a finger. All right. And once that is done, I'm going to take a bisect tool and going to select everything and create a bisect loop right here. It's going to cut the geometry through and through. Right where the fingers fold, just make two loops like this in the shape of a sort of a V. And similarly, we are going to add one section here, bisect right here and here. Now let's put these more loops to use. Double G to make a sort of that formation at the top of the finger folds that you see. I'm going to push these inside slightly right here. Starting to look like a finger, which is a good sign. And then we can simply select these. If you want, you can make a nail with it. I'm going to insert this and rotate this like this, slightly downwards. If I apply subdivision surface on this, this is how it's going to look like. Let's enable cage on modifier so we can work in edit mode. So what if we push this slightly more downwards and inwards like this? I think it would look slightly more better if we made a extrusion in the front faces right here. Extrude, scale it down. Just a bit more prominent shape of a nail. Now, if you want, you can add more loops. If you are working with a high resolution model, you can keep on defining more of this, but we are not going to do that because our model is comparatively less detailed. Simple of a softer look we are going for. Now I'm going to select this loop, Control plus plus to expand the selection. Let's go to top view and push this inside a little. Control plus one more time. And now I'm going to make a duplicate of this, align with the rest of the fingers. Take your time to align these on much more relaxed position. If you want, you can use a shrink and fatten tool to shrink the pinky finger down a little. And once you have these, you can also use a slightly more natural rotation. Let's scale this up a little. Now, more or less, I think fingers are there. Now, what we need to do is attach these fingers to this model. So before I attach the finger, I'm going to make a similar sort of formation right here that you see. Hands are one of the most complex parts in the body when it comes to 3D modeling. Now, let's merge these fingers. And to merge these, I'm just quickly going to use auto merge right here and enable the snapping, put it to vertex mode. With this, I can simply drag vertices and this is going to auto merge. So this is going to go to the top. This will go right here. Just be a bit more careful. There is a lot going on here. Just clear out whatever is clear and easy at the first. Align bottom vertices with the bottom, side vertices with the side, middle with the middle. I'm going to select this loop. And then I'm going to select the same loop, this right here, and I'll see where these two vertices are falling. So this needs to be attached here. Let's put it right here. And then let's put this right here. If you're having difficulty working in these parts, you can just temporarily push these out so that there's more room to work with. It seems like I might have made a bit of mistake, so I'm just going to rip these apart by pressing V. And so this needs to go right here. And then let's select these center ones. This need to go right here. Yeah, so that this loop connects this entire thing. Let's do the same thing for other finger as well. This might take some time if you're doing this for very first time, and it's a complex thing. So just be patient with it. Don't worry, you won't always have to keep making hands for every new model. You can always reuse geometry. If you're doing this for very first time, it's important that you make one every part of body by yourself until you become an expert. Only then you are allowed to make some shortcuts. So I think more or less we are done. Let me just disable this auto merge, and then I'm going to simply clean this up a little. Let's push this here. Let's go to the bottom view. Let me just select these four faces, and with the proportionate editing, I'm going to just make the thumb a little more thicker like this. Press I to make an inset for nail, and let's do the same thing. And then let's extrude these two, scale these down. I might have stretched it too far. Now this nail looks a bit bigger, so I'm just going to push this loop right here. You can always scale this down later on if you want. Just scale this down, push this in, and then let me just disable smooth subdivision surface. I'm just going to try and form the similar loops that we have in fingers on each joint so that it can fold with bones, something like this. So now I think more or less we are done. I'm just going to add these center edges between the fingers. Let me just clean this a bit. So let's select these center edges right here, right here. Press Ctrl B to create a bevel. Now this is going to give us a few more edges in between to sort of smooth out these pinching corners. Spread these corners out a little right between the fingers. But now right here we have weird faces. These are like hexagons or something. So I'm just going to select this one and connect vertex path, connect vertex path, connect vertex path, and let's repeat this for the rest. So this one right here is a five side face. So we are going to fix that simply by dragging this one here and dragging this one here. So you have a quad face here, quad face here. All of these are quads, which is quite an important thing actually. It's not going to be end of world for us even if we leave a few quads here, but we are just trying to make few good practices here, and topology is one of our main learning. So let's enable the subdivision surface and see what's going on. Everything seems all right. We can add a few more loops here. So if I add loop here, so this thing is going right in the thumb and I don't want that. So what I'll do is I'll select this right here and this one, going to subdivide this, and that's going to add a vertex in between, and because of that this loop is going to break. So now if I add a loop, it's going to end till here. And now I can add one loop here. I'm just going to press K for knife and just trying to keep it all quads. Let's see, just going to click right here, 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 and then we are going to reroute this. Let's add one more loop here, but then again it's going all the way here in the thumb. We don't want that, so I'm going to do the same thing, subdivide, and let's see how far. So we are going to subdivide this as well. and then press K for knife tool, cut this thing. So here we can simply make it like this. Now I'm just going to try and change the volume a bit so that it matches with my character. A bit more softer hand, bit more fat fingers. So let me just select these, shrink and fatten this. Expand selection, Control plus on keyboard, shrink and fatten. You can enable proportionate editing for this to work on surroundings a bit, but leave connected only. So we are done with hand, and I'm just going to bring everything back, and now I'm going to align this with our character in edit mode because our origin is still at the center of the character. And let's select our character, press Ctrl J and merge it. So with this, now let's select both the loops. Now this right here says 10 vertices and this loop right here says 20 vertices, which is sort of double for us. So what do we do about this? What I'm thinking is I'm just going to select these alternate edges and fill these up. Press F for fill. Exactly what we discussed in topology section, the first chapter. Select both side edges and fill. If I was going for something more realistic model, I would have extended these loops. I could have formed some of the wrist veins and something. That's not the case with our model. So maybe I can add one loop here. I'm thinking boundary unchecked so that this inset happens at the boundary. So now we have 12 loops in the hand and 12 loops in the arm. So we tried to mix it up a little. For now, don't worry about how big or small hand is. If any other tweak is required, we'll do that in a moment. First, let's just align it. Select this loop and we are going to work with the proportionate editing and fix this. SY. If you want, you can manually weld these together, merge these together. So I'm going to auto merge with the snapping. So let's fix this one. Let me fix this right here. And then this right here. So let's see what's going on now. I'm going to save the file and on this transition part around the wrist, I'm going to try and see if I can bring a slightly better formation. We can add one loop here like this. So this thing here is creating a sort of a pinch, and then we can just tweak a few of these vertices. So I'm going to select this entire loop and push this slightly here and then push this right here. So I just want something cleaner on the wrist side. That's all. Now you can select few of these faces and try to form the palm formation. You can keep on cutting and rerouting these if you want to have those lines, like create a bevel out of this and maybe add a few more loops, but so that you have a much more detail on the other side of hand. But we are going to skip that part We are going for something really simple. This already is way too much for a kind of style that we are going for. But I wanted to clear out a few of the things about topology as we are focusing on learning character topology a little. So, however simple, but it's important that we discuss the hand part. At least the essentials are there. So with this, we have the arm part completed. Now let's work on the legs. Now making legs is going to be comparatively easy because we are not going to be modeling feet. Character is wearing the shoes, so we are going to skip the feet part. I'm going to extrude this and flatten this and scale this down in z-axis so that we have upper leg and quite a neat loop. In the side view, I'm just going to rotate slightly like this and push this outwards. Then you can create another extrusion, rotate this downwards a little, extrude right here, and then extrude it like this. So we are going to take care of proportions in a moment, but for now, just bear with me. So this formation is what we are looking for. Now, let's push this slightly inside, add a loop here, push this way. So this part you can keep slightly more straighter, but this right should have a bit of arc. Control B, bevel this to add more loops. And then we are going to take care of this a little. Control B and bevel this. So making legs is not a difficult task, but what's difficult is to understand the formation of the leg. So legs are not like this. It's not a straight formation. From hip, it goes down like this slightly, and then there's a knee part, and then there is a bit more formation like this, and then there is foot. So this you need to understand a little. It's never enough how much thought you put in anatomy of character, but it doesn't matter whether you're making realistic character or stylized character. For simple things like this, there's always a similar sort of structure which needs to be followed. So for knees, we are going to add one loop right at the center, and then with these two edges selected, I'm going to create a bevel. All right, scale this up, and then we can cut this and connect with the rest. Similar to what we did in arms at the elbow side, make few cuts to convert these in quads. I'm just going to enable subdivision surface to see how the knees are forming up. I'm just going to make a duplicate of this so that I can see this thing without the wireframe. Just going to select these, push these inwards a bit, double G and slide these like this. Now these points, I'm going to push these backwards, and this I'm going to push this outwards a little. Yeah, a bit like this. And then I'm going to select these two sides and scale these down like this. So even though this is not super detailed, but you can see a slight tweak in the vertices can help you create a natural formation. Now, if you observe behind your legs, there's a bit of a muscle stretch going on. I'm pretty sure once you are in this, when you are exploring this subject, you start noticing things within your body. So it's important to pay attention to your body, and it's not always you need to go out and take a reference from an image. So for demonstration purpose, I think this is fine. But our character is slightly more simple, cuter kid. These hips look a bit more feminine. To match this to our characters, we are going to tone these down a little. Now for feet, we are simply going to extrude this. So after this extrusion, I'm just going to select these few of the front faces, extrude these outwards. If you want, you can even skip the feet part. You can simply put a shoe here. I'm just going to make something so that in some cases, if skin underneath is seen, just for that purpose, I just want to put something under the cloth, right? That's all. I'm not going to spend much time here. We can create a soft bevel at the front right here, and that's all. I do see a few more n-gons in the geometry, so I'll try to fix these in the cleanup stage. At this moment, I just want to finish the entire body with the essential things, and then I'll revisit some of these areas. Just going to tweak the loops a bit. There's a bit of tension in between loops in the lower leg. So just tweak those a little, and just going to make this a slimmer character. I'm not too concerned about the details of the inside, but still want to fix a few things. Just don't want to leave it too abrupt. Let's see if we can bring some decent shape and topology. Now that we have the legs and everything, you can just try and fix a few things in the gesture. So just enable the proportional editing and fix this up a little. Just take a bigger brush so you can control the overall arch. Now I'm going to bring the character head here, and in the body of the character at the top we have few loops. So I'm just going to select these many of faces. I'm going to delete these up. Let's select all of these, this entire loop. With the mirror modifier enabled, if you go to the tool section, if you go to the loop tool section and click on circle, this is going to create a full circle right here. So let's bring back the character head. Let's see what's going on inside view. Let's align it to our character and then combine it with our character, Control J. Now that both of these are combined, let's select this loop and see how many vertices we have. We have 12 vertices. Let's select this loop. We have 8 vertices. So we need to do a bit of work. Going to select these faces and delete these first. I'm going to select these faces and align this to this neck. So we have less vertices here, more vertices here. So we can add a few more right here. What if I create one inset and disable boundary? Something like this. I think this should work. So now we have 9 at the bottom and 12 at the top. Just simply create one bevel here. Inset with the boundary disabled. And let's create another one. This should give us 11 vertices at the bottom, 12 at the top. So maybe if we create one more inset here, this will be enough. 12 right here and 12 right here. So first I'm going to select this with L, select linked, auto merge enabled, enable the snap to vertices, and let's start pushing these to our character at the bottom. If you don't want to turn on or off the snap, you can simply press Control. So whatever mod snap is set to, that is going to toggle with Control. So you can simply press Control while pressing G, press Control and put it here. G, Control, put it here. And since auto merge is enabled, this is going to merge it with it. G, Control right here. Now we can disable auto merge and start fixing this part, a bit of mess that we have made. So I'm just going to select this loop, this part, and I'm just going to smooth this out a little. All right, I think the neck looks a bit too much, so we can just scale this down, push this inside like this. All right, so your character is done. Now just to make sure everything is symmetrical, I'm just going to disable the symmetry and just check all the vertices right here. Select everything, select this entire border if you want, this cross section, and press SX0. so that there is no offset. I mean, sometimes some vertices are moving here and there. So all those are right at the center now. All right. And there you go. You have the character with you. We have the entire character body. Topology seems to be all right. We are not going for something high resolution. This is not like a character, that typical human body character that you see. So we are going for something much more simpler so that we can get the basic concepts of topology right. And then once we jump onto the much more complex characters, which are sculpted and everything, on those higher end characters, we'll deal with the much more complex issues, and we'll discuss a few more things there. At this moment, these hollow eyes look odd. So what I'm going to do is place one UV sphere, something like this, and shade smooth. So pretty basic eye setup I can make with icosphere. So just select these faces, move it inside. Actually, before that, I'm just going to make a duplicate of this. Move it inside. Not going to go into much detail for the eyes at this moment. All right. And then for the outer layer, we can do the opposite. Push it out a bit. I'm just going to apply a really basic material on this one. Just going to select the center vertex and expand the selection with Ctrl plus for the iris part, and apply one simple black color shader, and invert the selection, Ctrl I, and apply a new material and make it a white color shader. Yeah, something like this. Just going to select this loop and apply white on this as well. And then for this, I can make a simple glass BSDF, join both of these with Ctrl J. Then just going to scale this up a bit, bring it to the eye socket, apply location, and then apply mirror modifier, and then make few adjustments. Alright, this seems fine. At this moment, eyes would look a bit odd because we don't have our eyelashes or anything. But we'll make few more adjustments once we arrive to that part. And there you have it. The whole character body model is officially completed. Now it's time to spice things up with some clothes and props. Imagine doing all that fun stuff passively, maybe sitting with coffee, chatting with friends, and casually modeling clothes for this character. It won't even take up that much of headspace, and most of it will flow effortlessly from what you have already put together. Just a bit of extracting from existing mesh and tweaking and rerouting few loops. So I'm curious to hear about your overall learning experience. What challenges are you facing and what parts are you enjoying the most? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and let's keep the conversation going. So thank you for all your support and love. Jump to Discord server if you'd like to discuss anything related to this on channel dedicated to this series. Check pinned comment for frequently asked questions and problems. Check description for PDF of keyboard shortcuts, discount coupons and other mentioned resources for this tutorial. If you enjoyed this chapter, do check out the full playlist and hope you continue all the way till the end. Also consider buying the premium version and unlock the additional chapters and project files and bonus content, which will take you through the process of rigging with Rigify, creating a nice walk cycle animation, creating secondary animations using plot physics and bone constraints, and rendering your entire project using Cycles render engine. Share your work with me on Instagram, tag me with Crossmind, and participate in discussion on Discord channel for this course. Links are in the description. Please give it a like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. Share your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to share it with your colleagues and on social media to help us reach the wider audience. Thank you for all your support and love. Let's jump to the next video.